Have you ever heard of the condition called Stockholm Syndrome? A lot of people probably know that it is related to kidnappings and hostages, but not everyone knows what it really is all about. But to make it simple and easier to understand, let us take a look at one of the most favorite movies from Disney. Beauty and the Beast taught us many important lessons, such as true beauty is not based on the person's physical look, that women can be tough, brave, and have initiative just like their male counterparts, and so on. But did you know that this fairy tale movie can also teach us about mental health? Take the Beast, for example. He displayed symptoms of depression, didn't he? But this is not about the Beast, nor his mental health. This is about Belle, one of the crowd favorites, who displayed symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome. In this video, we will discuss what Stockholm Syndrome really is, what are the symptoms, and possible treatments. Let us first try to understand Stockholm Syndrome. This term was coined by Niels Bohr, both a psychiatrist and criminologist, after the six-day bank siege that happened in Stockholm, Sweden in the year 1973. Two bank robbers, Jan Erik Olsen and his former cellmate Clark Olofsson, robbed a bank and kidnapped 4 of its employees. After the 6-day standoff, the hostages seemed to have developed an unusual attachment to both of their captors. They mentioned that their captors were very kind to them, and so they decided not to testify against Olsen and Olofsson. Now, what exactly is this Stockholm Syndrome? It is actually a psychological response wherein people who were kidnapped or held as hostages form a bond with their captors or abusers over the course of their captivity. This doesn't happen to all victims of kidnappings or hostages, but when it does happen, the reason behind it is still unclear. For those individuals who develop this paradox, they may come to sympathize with their captors. They develop positive feelings towards them, and some even consider their captors as God, mostly because they feel like they owe their lives to them. Every act of kindness from the captor, such as giving them food, allowing them to use the restroom, or not killing them, lead to the belief that their lives depend on their captors, and they feel grateful for all the humane treatment they receive from them. We may say that Belle really did develop the Stockholm Syndrome during the time she was held captive by Beast. She was given food, clothes, and a really nice room inside a castle, and she was not physically abused by Beast. Even so, the fact that she was isolated and kept against her will, but still developed strong attachment for Beast later on, really does exhibit the symptoms of Stockholm Syndrome. Now, what are these symptoms? This paradox can be manifested in several ways, but there are 3 distinct symptoms that are being recognized, and these are the following: developing positive feelings towards the captor, seeing the humanity in their captor and believing that they hold the same goals and values, and developing negative feelings toward authority figures, such as the police or anyone who are trying to help them escape. It kind of sounds like Beauty and the Beast, doesn't it? After spending some time with Beast, Belle saw goodness in him, and this is something we cannot really argue because Beast was indeed good to her. When other people tried to rescue her, she wanted to protect Beast and didn't really want to leave his side. But why does it really happen? A normal feeling toward a captor would be hatred, right? And even if you receive humane treatment from them, it still doesn't change the fact that they are holding you captive and keeping you against your will. As mentioned earlier, its underlying cause is still unclear, but we may associate this with survival tactics, and in this case, it's more on psychological survival. It does help with keeping their lives, as well by showing the captors that they are cooperative, and that they won't do anything that would cause harm or imprisonment to their captors. But it's also important to understand that these victims are enduring trauma and abuse. and it's possible that forming a positive attachment toward their captors would somehow help them deal with those traumas. Through this bond, they may no longer believe that they are victims, that they are doing things against their will, and that they are being abused. The thing is, Stockholm Syndrome doesn't end in kidnappings and hostage situations. It can also happen in abusive and toxic relationships with your partner or family members, which may explain why some victims of domestic violence don't want to leave their abusive partners, or why some children wouldn't tell the truth about the abuse they are receiving from specific members of the family. Although Stockholm Syndrome may be seen as a psychological disorder, it is still not being recognized by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Because of this, there are no official recommendations when it comes to its treatment. But since people who are suffering with Stockholm Syndrome are also dealing with trauma, psychotherapy and medications may help with symptoms associated with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Talking about their experiences to a professional may also help them to fully understand what happened and to find a way to work through it. Check out one of our newest videos here. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more videos about your favorite Disney and Marvel characters and the psychology behind them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.